In this podcast episode, Mel Robbins is joined by NYU Stern School of Business professor Dr. Dolly Chugh to explore the challenges of dealing with people who refuse to change and what to do instead. They dive into the psychology behind why knowing better often doesn't lead to doing better, the internal barriers that resist change, and practical tools to foster growth both in ourselves and others. The conversation also covers how to navigate emotional defense mechanisms, improve communication, and maintain healthy boundaries in relationships. Dr. Chugh introduces the concept of two mental bodyguards that prevent change and growth: energy and ego. The energy bodyguard conserves our mental effort by pushing us to act on autopilot, making change difficult because our unconscious mind dominates much of what we do. The ego bodyguard protects our identity and self-concept, resisting change that threatens how we see ourselves or want to be seen by others. Together, these bodyguards explain why, even when we know better, we often don't do better. Because change feels like a threat to our comfort and self-image. The gap between knowing what we should do and actually doing it is a common human experience. Dr. Chugh uses the Stroop test, a cognitive challenge where one must say the color of words that spell different color names, to illustrate how unlearning familiar behaviors creates internal friction and resistance. Change requires not just learning something new, but unlearning old habits, which is inherently difficult and uncomfortable. Recognizing this struggle fosters empathy for both ourselves and others who find change hard. One critical insight is the difference between trying to prove we are good people and striving to improve ourselves continually. Dr. Chugh explains that the desire to prove our goodness often leads to defensiveness and self-judgment, making growth more stressful and less sustainable. Instead, embracing a mindset of being goodish, someone who is always learning, unlearning, and improving, allows for progress without harsh self-criticism. Two everyday questions to replace judgment are, what did I learn today? And did I try my best? This reframes success away from perfection toward growth. Dr. Chugh addresses the exhaustion many feel from relentless self-expectation and societal pressures. The key is shifting focus from outcome-based success to process-based growth. Evaluating whether we have learned and tried rather than whether we succeeded reduces feelings of failure and prevents burnout. This mindset combats learned helplessness and encourages resilience, helping individuals to persist even when change is slow or difficult. When trying to influence others, the most effective strategies involve modeling change, inviting change, and rewarding change rather than pushing or forcing it. Dr. Chugh shares the story of Gandhi, advising people only after he himself changed, illustrating the power of authentic modeling. Inviting change means creating a safe space for others to try new behaviors without judgment or immediate criticism, recognizing that change is a process of unlearning and experimentation. Rewarding change involves acknowledging and appreciating even small efforts to encourage continued growth. Dr. Chugh distinguishes between push strategies, directing or telling people what to do, and pull strategies that create conditions motivating people to want to change themselves. While push methods can yield quick compliance, they often generate resistance or resentment. Pull methods take longer but result in more lasting, internalized transformation. Understanding when to push and when to pull is essential in leadership, parenting, and relationships. One of the biggest challenges in helping others is recognizing when advice is unwanted or ineffective. Dr. Chugh highlights the wait rule, which encourages reflection before speaking, asking whether the person has requested advice and what they really need, whether to be heard, hugged, or high-fived, acknowledged. Often people just want to vent or feel supported emotionally rather than receive solutions. Misreading these signals can lead to frustration and pushback. Addressing challenging individuals requires careful navigation. Dr. Chugh suggests reducing the oxygen given to toxic behaviors by calmly signaling when something is not acceptable. For example, by asking, "Did you actually mean to say that out loud?" This approach diffuses the moment without escalating conflict. When people are defensive, it's often because the feedback given is vague or subjective. Instead, feedback should be behavior-focused, specific, and tied to observable actions to reduce defensiveness and clarify expectations. Dr. Chugh offers a practical tool for managing conflicts and requests within families or teams, the 1 to 10 rule. This involves assessing how important an issue is on a scale from 1 to 10, recognizing that not everything needs to be treated as urgent or critical. When importance levels differ, understanding the underlying values and perspectives can prevent escalation and foster compromise. Sometimes, agreeing to let lower priority issues go leads to healthier relationships. One of the most difficult lines to draw is between supporting loved ones and enabling harmful patterns. Dr. Chugh reflects on the pain of helplessness when watching someone suffer and the tendency to intervene in ways that lessen immediate pain but prevent necessary growth. True support allows individuals to face consequences and learn from them, even when it's uncomfortable. Recognizing when to step back and protect one's own boundaries is essential for both parties' well-being. Dr. Chugh discusses 2 classroom practices, Shoutouts and Own It, that foster psychological safety and growth. Shoutouts involve recognizing and appreciating others' efforts and successes, which encourages positive behaviors and connection. Own It entails openly taking responsibility for one's mistakes or shortcomings, modeling accountability and humility. Together, these practices promote an environment where people feel supported and motivated to improve without fear of harsh judgment. The episode closes with a focus on the hopeful energy that comes from embracing growth as a lifelong journey. Dr. Chugh encourages leaning into growth and improvement rather than trying to prove oneself to others or meet impossible standards. By doing so, individuals can feel lighter, more hopeful, and more in control of their lives. The mindset of continuous learning and unlearning, combined with compassion for oneself and others, creates a sustainable path forward amidst life's challenges.